There is a forgotten truth, an ancient law that says, as above, so below, as within, so without. You've heard the phrase before, maybe in a book, maybe in a whisper, maybe in a dream. But what if it wasn't just poetic? What if this one law explains why your life looks the way it does? Your relationships, your money, your mental state, all of it. This is the second Hermetic principle. This is the unseen pattern, and this is how you reclaim your power. The law of correspondence is simple, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. As above, so below. As within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. The ancients believed the universe was fractal, a repeating pattern that spirals from the stars down to your cells. The same laws that govern galaxies also govern your thoughts. The same principles that shape society also shape your emotions. There is no separation, only mirrors. You are not isolated from reality. You are its reflection. Thousands of years ago, Hermetic philosophers taught that the universe was like a great mind, dreaming itself into layers. The macrocosm, the great, contains the microcosm, the small, and the small reflects the great. They didn't have telescopes, they didn't have quantum physics, but they knew this truth: what happens inside will appear outside. In Egypt, priests meditated to align their inner world with the divine. In India, yogis taught that mastering the breath could calm the universe around you. In Greece, the Delphic oracle inscribed the phrase, "Know thyself, and thou shalt know the universe and the gods." The same law, different language. Most people think reality happens to them, but Hermeticism teaches reality flows from them. If your mind is chaotic, your life will be. If your emotions are wounded, your relationships will reflect that wound. If you believe the world is scarce, your finances will prove you right. This is not a punishment. It's a reflection. The world is not attacking you. It is showing you yourself. Let's talk about money. It's not just a number in a bank account. It's an energy. And like all energy, it reflects your state of being. If you constantly chase wealth with fear, you repel it. If you believe, "I'm not worthy of abundance," the universe says, "as you wish." Money doesn't respond to action alone. It responds to vibration, to belief, emotion, inner alignment. Now, what about your relationship with yourself? This is the core. Because if your inner world is distorted, no amount of success or admiration will feel fulfilling. When you align your thoughts, emotions, and values, your reality begins to shift. If your mind is clear, life becomes clear. If your heart is open, connection becomes easier. If your soul is at peace, chaos loses power over you. And the beauty? The more you heal internally, the less the world needs to teach you lessons. Because the law will no longer reflect your wounds, it will reflect your wholeness. Science now echoes what the ancients taught. Quantum physics shows the observer affects the observed. Psychology proves belief shapes perception. Neuroscience confirms that repeated thoughts rewire the brain, changing behavior and, eventually, reality. Your inner world bends your outer experience. So how do you use this law? Audit your thoughts. Speak clarity. Feel abundance. Act in alignment. Because the law of correspondence is always working, whether you know it or not. The universe doesn't reflect what you want. It reflects what you are. Change your inner world, and reality will shift to meet you. Welcome to the second law. What if the entire history of philosophy, mysticism, and psychology has been whispering one truth again and again, in different languages, in different ages, under different names? The second Hermetic principle is one of the oldest metaphysical truths known to humankind. As above, so below. As within, so without. It tells us that the inner and the outer are mirrors, that the universe is not just around us, it is in us, and the patterns of the cosmos repeat within the human mind, the body, the soul, and the structures we create. While this law was canonized in the Hermetic texts of ancient Egypt and Greece, its essence has resurfaced throughout the ages, hidden in the writings of mystics, echoed by philosophers, and confirmed by psychologists. Even when they didn't mention Hermeticism, they were speaking the same law. Let's begin with a name you already know. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and founder of analytical psychology, never called himself a hermeticist. But if anyone embodied the law of correspondence, it was him. Jung believed that the human psyche was not isolated. He taught that the unconscious mind mirrors the collective unconscious, a vast field of shared symbols, dreams, and archetypes that transcend individual lives. In his own words, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. This is Hermeticism in motion. Jung's theory of archetypes, the shadow, the anima, the hero, reflects how universal structures exist both in the cosmos and in the soul. These archetypes appear in myths, religions, and even modern cinema. And yet they also live in our dreams, our fears, our desires. Jung also wrote, "The self is a circle whose center is everywhere, and whose circumference is nowhere." This mirrors the Hermetic idea that the microcosm contains the macrocosm, that the human soul contains the blueprint of the universe itself. Jung's individuation process, where the ego integrates the unconscious to form a whole self, is a psychological map of Hermetic integration, unifying the inner and outer, light and shadow, above and below. Now, travel back to ancient Greece. Plato, the student of Socrates, described a world of perfect eternal forms, abstract ideals like beauty, justice, truth, which exist in a higher immaterial realm. What we see in the physical world are only reflections, shadows of those higher realities. Does that sound familiar? As above, so below. Plato's famous allegory of the cave teaches us that the reality we perceive is limited, that the shadows on the wall are not the truth. The real world lies beyond in a higher plane, but that higher world can be accessed only by going inward. This is pure Hermetic correspondence. The visible reflects the invisible. The lower imitates the higher. A few centuries later, Plotinus, a philosopher of the Neoplatonist school, refined Plato's ideas in ways that align even more closely with Hermeticism. For Plotinus, the source of everything was the One, an infinite, unknowable, spiritual reality from which all things emanate. From the One came the divine mind, from that came the soul, and from the soul came the material world. Each level reflected the one above. In his writings, Plotinus insists that to understand the universe, one must first know oneself, and that the soul contains the keys to the cosmos. Withdraw into yourself and look. And if you do not find yourself beautiful yet, act as does the creator of a statue. He saw the soul as a mirror of the divine, not a separate thing, but a fragment of the eternal whole. Now we come to Hermes Trismegistus and the Corpus Hermeticum, the original Hermetic texts. That which is below corresponds to that which is above, and that which is above corresponds to that which is below to accomplish the miracle of the one thing. This sentence is not just metaphorical. To the Hermetic mind, this is the blueprint of magic, healing, transformation, and spiritual awakening. In the Kabbalion, written in 1908, this law is expanded further. A knowledge of the principle of correspondence enables man to reason intelligently from the known to the unknown. The law wasn't meant to be abstract, it was meant to be applied.